So, this has second red shirt, but this red shirt is just as important, if not a little bit more important than the other one. Here with us today is one of our head judges, working with Sebastian, who's actually on the other party event, and Andrea took his time to come here. So hello.
Hello guys, I'm Andrea. I'm the head judge here, assistant head judge actually, for the YCS Dusseldorf number 2. My role is actually to manage all the rest of the judge team. Is to back up their decision if I have to back up them or correct them if they are mistaken. Usually when the players doubt about the opinion of the judges, which may happen because everybody makes mistakes, they have the right to appeal. So I come and I actually discuss with the judge about their decision. And I actually give my decision about the situation, being the most impartial as possible, because it doesn't seem, but it's really hard to be such, since you may often happen to be called at a table where one of the players is your friend, or here in Europe comes from your same country, and you have to not only be impartial, but also to appear so. Because you maybe have the best intentions, but if you speak to the player, to the player of your country, in your home language, you may be doing it because you want to be you want him to understand, but the opponent may actually believe that you're on his side, and it's sometimes very difficult to do. This is also awful when the judge, which actually calls you for an appeal, is of your country too, and that's just impossible to appear impartial, but you have to do it.
It's a very hard thing to do because
Yes.
A lot of the viewers wouldn't know this at all, is that oftentimes at these type of events, since there is a bit more coverage with European events and stuff like that, you would oftentimes have to be also the table judge of the feature match area and stuff like that, correct?
Yeah.
And how's
I've
that?
been in the future match team, many events. In the past years, I was one of the tablet operators, for all of 2016 and most part of 17.
What was that like for you?
It was a cool experience because it's also different from standard judging. You actually don't have to give rulings, but you just have to make everything the clearest for the casters, because you actually have this application on the tablet where you actually put the card in the system and they see what card the players have in hand, in the graveyard and so on, also life points and matches. And you also have to make the future match a good experience for the players, because the feeling of being on a live camera is something that the player sometimes finds stressful, and you see them because maybe you also know them, and you happen to see that they are shaking, or also they are anxious, and you actually have to say, hey, this is something that has to be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Future match is something that has been projected to be fun.
So you need to try to make the players themselves as comfortable as possible in the whole experience, because they're being broadcasted to thousands of people who are oftentimes.
If they mess up, the world will know.
Exactly. You'll see memes of them being posted in the morning.
Always.
Being posted in the morning and stuff like that, and that's very hard and cumbersome. Do you oftentimes get a bit worn out, oftentimes having to do this or deal with players sometimes who can oftentimes come over as forceful or try to push their way? Because then there's sometimes certain players who do that.
Yeah, it happens many times. One of the main reasons, I think, is that players doesn't have the judging view. They don't know what it means to judge an event, and it's not you're stupid, you don't understand. No, you have to be judged once to understand. And I was like those players once upon a time, like in the far 2012, like years like this. I started judging in 2013, by the way. Yeah, it's 6-year judging.
And assistant head judge already. All right. Oftentimes, some people take a bit longer than that, but that's
yeah. And yes, those players doesn't have that point of view, and they actually think that the judge is here is just having fun, even giving out penalties. Like to do it is something that entertain judges, but it's not true. Like it's difficult to tell a player like you lost this match because you drew a card and shuffled your hand, while maybe the player's like, no, I didn't shuffle, stuff like that.
But people tend to forget when they shuffle their hand, it's oftentimes like a knee-jerk reaction. You often do it just not even express. It's sort of like a sort of nervous tick, or you're thinking of something, or you're thinking
everybody shuffle their hand. Like it's something. If you are a Yu-Gi-Oh player, 90% you're shuffling your hand every 5 seconds.
Yeah, and oftentimes you want to keep integrity of the game state and make sure that all the rules and procedures are being followed accordingly, and the judges are just doing their job by doing that. No short of a task as a head judge as well. So, to all of the aspiring, like I already talked to one of our floor judges, Leonard, already about it. So I want to give your take, get your take of it. What would you think to be one of the most aspiring qualities of trying to become a judge?
A judge?
Just a judge. What, like we're talking about being impartial, talked about, you know, getting the experience. Leonard talked about player experience. What would you put in?
You have absolutely to understand what customer service is about. Because the first thing is if you come to this event, it's because you want to help. And not only Konami, but also the players that comes to the event. So you don't have to think like we are here because we have to maintain a correct state of the game because we are the only one who do it. No, that is an elitarism type of thinking that I do not share. And yes, you must like smile to everybody. Like everybody needs to be treated as well as your own friend, always and ever. Because that not only is something that everybody should do in their days, normal days, but also you're actually representing Konami while judging. So if you treat a player badly, it's like Konami is treating a player badly, and that's not a nice thing to do.
Okay, gives them a negative image.
Also, you have to have a positive attitude regarding criticism, and you have to be ready that you are going to get some enemies doing this. Like people will start to hate you. Every part where every single game where a referee is needed, it's always like that. From the referee's point, like also football. Like how many referees have
it's like that judge call was wrong. That was such nonsense. I didn't do that. I appeal.
Yeah, the judge didn't understand. The judge clearly was on his side. Yada.
Well, Andrea, I would like to thank you for taking out your time out your busy schedule, because technically you're supposed to be helping Sebastian a little bit, working on deck lists and getting the coverage done to the first team at the first venue. So I'd like to thank you.
Yeah.
The viewers would thank you as well. We'd like to thank you as well for taking out your time, and have a wonderful day.
You too.